So this is the last lesson before midterm. For this lesson, I want to have introduction to using Firebase. This is, I will try to integrate it to middle of the course later, like it is now, to have some introduction. There is also difficulty of integrating this in the middle of the course because it does require background that is not really well experienced at this moment. So later I will try to make it smoother transition. But it is indeed has to be in the middle of the course. I came up with this idea after trying to incorporate this at the end of the course. There is a big issue of having this in the end of the course. First, it is quite likely to run out of time, so it is on the last week. This will be probably just 1 week in the middle, or 2 weeks, most likely 2 weeks in the middle later. For this, I'm recording this so you can watch it when you want. And I will try to stay at the level which you already have to do this overview, in hope that you will look up missing pieces later when you need them. This video will stay on YouTube. Of course, you will lose connection to this course when it's over, but video will stay. And links to the explanation, like theoretical explanation, will also likely stay on web. Please make bookmark to that unit, so you can look up. What I explained, definitely nothing absolutely drastically new, because all information is coming from Google Training Course. Unfortunately, that course is not continuous. There is missing information, so you have to look it up when you study. So where is this coming from? In week 1, I posted course resources. It's PDF file, so please save it. So when this course is over, you can open it, this PDF, and it has those links. And this is a good idea. And this course, it is just copying, and this link is broken and need to rewrite. And this is a course that I use primary resource for this course. So I'm not trying to go with the same pace, the same areas, but some things in this course, what that we have in this course, they are not in this course. I added more examples, I added more theory, I paid more attention to organization of the code than they do, because I read their architecture guide. Google provides architecture guide to Android applications, how this should be organized. This is definitely good for larger projects like your capstone project. It is not necessary just for Android, perhaps in other areas it applies too, but Google developed this for Android, so for Android it definitely applies, for others just applies critical safety, if you can use it or not. This course, in the beginning, does not follow this guide. They try to do shortcuts, explain things quick as possible. Some textbooks do follow this religiously, so there are Android textbooks, but they're already getting out of date quite seriously. So there is no up-to-date Android textbook at this point. And these textbooks are reasonable. So this mastering Kotlin for Android 14, it is quite recent, in 2024. Issue with its examples are quite short, so it is harder to build a big picture with it. So, this course, it is mostly about UI. So it's, in this case, it's not super useful in terms of larger projects. This course, this textbook is quite reasonable. Issue with it is organization, how it goes from chapter to chapter. As they try to build one project through entire course, by adding things and rewriting code. So it is essentially one project, rebuild until the end. They will end up with a reasonable project in the end, but previous chapters go through that code. And they keep improving the code. So it cannot be used in this course for the reason that you teach broken code each time and eventually you get right code. So the approach is kind of questionable. And in the end, they have one more example that are reasonable to use, but starting with broken code. So they didn't use that one. So it's kind of ending in the place where our author decided, okay, good enough. I want to finish and get it published. Unfortunately, it relies on piece of cloud that is not there anymore, at least for the time. So I have to give this example. I did use this in the course, this example from a book. It's a reasonable book, but it's missing a lot. This is cookbook, so it's a short examples in different areas. This looks like great, but this book has a lot of serious issues. Like you open code, it doesn't compile. Explanation is not enough to understand this code. And it's not enough to fix the code. So it probably requires deeper level than typically in first introductory course. Although it looks like great, it has underwater stones, not immediately obvious, like you open code, it doesn't compile and it's not clear why. Right? So all of it is reasonably useful, but the most useful, it is definitely this one, and look up this. What about the course that I'm referring to right now in this lesson? This course copy-pastes a lot of things from here, drops other things from here, and has additional links. This course does not have a link from developerandroid.com anymore. Perhaps they realized that this course needs improvement, so they removed the link. But this course exists. So you click on it, it's here, Android Basics in Compose and Firebase, bookmark it. Because if you go to developerandroid.com, you will not find it directly from the website. When I taught this course in fall, they had the link. Now it's not there. So bookmark it, so you have it. So when you go here, it has Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, Unit 4, just linked to the course that we used. So it's not new, it is just direct link to the previous course. Unit 5, it is the one that I'm using right now. And it is not linked well to other things, because it is using information which is not explained yet. And this is why I'm not with that. I'm trying to integrate it with adding additional things like huge dependency injections that I was explaining throughout these several weeks of this course. And it's on your midterm, it's in your assignment too, so you get comfortable with it. So this example assumes that you know huge dependency injection. Also, it is using flows. Flows, we had state flow in a couple of examples, and you will learn more about flows immediately after midterm. So it is right at the right time. So you will see what it's about. It is definitely using Firebase because it's an introduction to Firebase. And what is a Firebase? Firebase is part of Google Cloud, and that is reasonably separate but integrated into Google Cloud. So features that are not present in Firebase can be picked from Google Cloud, and we still have one piece. So it is integrated, and it's part of Google Cloud, integrated, but with separate website. And Firebase is primarily focusing on developing mobile applications and some simple web pieces. Why it's important? Because when you have an app, you want to share data between different devices of the same user. For example, user builds shopping list and builds shopping list on phone and wants to open it on tablet and edit it on tablet. Or the same going through website, login into website and do the shopping list. So this is why they provide web interface. So mobile applications can have shared data between multiple devices. Firebase is not Android specific. So it has interfaces to iOS, JavaScript programming, and other things. So it's you will see it's not Android specific. Your iOS course, last time I checked it, is using Firebase at some level. So you will probably revisit it. So fortunately or unfortunately, it is changing. So some introduction to previous course really helps, but ideas are not exactly copy-paste. When I opened this Firebase day before yesterday, the site was there and open. Things are in different places now, and some features for new projects are not available anymore because they retired their stuff. It's still available for older projects, so it doesn't go to waste. So as all the mobile applications still work, but when you create new project, it's not there. So they're phasing out all the stuff. So you need to maintain your skills and knowledge with this area in order to stay current, in order to apply this new technology. And when you go here to Unit 5, you will see that it is like Unit in the previous course. It has video, but she wrote the code, and perhaps other people also contributed. And it has links to her blog. So, and this blog is not on developer Android. So when you go to these articles, this article, it is for blog on Firebase blog. So another place where you want to bookmark is this, because this is her explanation of her code. So please bookmark this one, in case the course from developerandroid.com eventually disappears from us. This will likely stay. It's okay. She invested it, and this is her area. So if she deleted it, okay, this is bad luck, but most likely it will stay. Okay. Firebase blog, and she is explaining. She's explaining her code with for Android. She says that code written for iOS also exists, and there is a link to it. Close to bottom of the page, there is a link to GitHub repository, and there is also a link to iOS repository of it. It's probably this one. You can find the source code for iOS, Mac, this one. Yeah. So there is a version for Android and version for iOS, perhaps useful even when you in your iOS course. Look it up. All right. So in the beginning, when she starts, she assumes some basic understanding of Android because it's like Unit 5 of that course. And you already have that understanding by the time. But at this moment, you will see it's using module dependency injection. Inject, you see here your model. This is what we used it last 2-3 weeks of this course. And you have it in your assignment, so this is why you're getting credit to this area. She gives brief overview of it, but it's not in depth. So if you need to learn it, developerandroid.com, dependency injection, Qt dependency injection. There is no other place to learn it. Unfortunately, it's not a part of the textbooks I'm aware of. There is one textbook that I mentioned, Catalina, author Catalina. And that textbook is using an example that is already out of date. So, okay. Mostly, developer Android.com, they have not tutorials, but step-by-step explanation, so it's reasonable. Her code here applies to version 1 example. There are here, she did two versions, version 1 and version 2. Explanation applies to both. Explanation are great. Please read it for general picture. This code is not necessarily the code what you will see in version 2. But its explanation, when I read it, applies 100%. No questions about it, 100%. And explanations are great. So spend some time just reading through general ideas. We had a similar thing in class, except now she says we created service and now it talks to Firebase, but our service didn't talk to Firebase. Our service was, we created a repository that was getting data from cPanel, and cPanel was sending content of JSON in USM. So Firebase was missing, but idea is quite similar in applying screen UI state and view model logic. So this is what we learned in our example, so it is 100% the same. Yeah. And later she is explaining, it is multi-step, and she was writing this actually here when she was building the code. There is a little confusion here. She talks tasks screen, and she is using keyword task in her explanation. When she rewrote her code, she changed word task to do item, because word task creates confusion. First, when you say task, it means probably background task or something like this. No, it is just to do item in her task. Also, task is a keyword of Firebase API. This is probably why she changed it. So there is no confusion with API of Firebase Cloud API. So in your case, task screen has nothing to do with task in Firebase API. So she wanted to probably, this is why she renamed this task into to-do item in her version 2 code. And she, as you see, she is using here view model, means view model associated with the screen. I rewrote her code because of copy-paste issue. When I was teaching this course in fall, students had assignment with Firebase using cloud and with assignment 4. And for benefit of the students, I wanted to have examples where students could copy-paste pieces into assignments. So it shouldn't be like total rewrite of everything, total rewrite. And so version 2 code is using libraries of material design tool. And material design 2 libraries are somewhat similar to material design 3 libraries, but code is not copy-pastable. You cannot copy-paste function describing piece of the screen into material design 3 and make it work. It takes time to make it work. So for this reason, I rewrote the code, because when you create Android project now and in fall, it will be material design 3 project, not 2. So for sake of students making assignment 4, I rewrote it using material design 3. And I renamed this code. I renamed this code to do list, just generic name. Her code is called to make it so. So this is her repository. And as you see, her repository contains 2 variants of the code. So this is Android program, and this is another Android program. In the beginning, in the fall term, when I was teaching this course, version 2 just didn't exist. So I couldn't use. She started to write this code it was partially done. I couldn't finish it myself because I don't know what's going next, what to do next. So I took for code and I converted it to material design 3 so students could use it essentially without major rewrites. So this was a basic base of the code that I use it in to-do list project, this one. And so I took for version 1 code, I created project from scratch, and I copy-pasted pieces, and I made sure that copy-paste code. And I rewrote navigation system because full navigation system was, in my opinion, impossible to explain in class. It was totally entangled, logic was jumping from one place to another place. I won't be able to explain this in class. So I rewrote code related to navigation. So it's not 100% the same, but since she doesn't spend time in her blog explaining her navigation system, it doesn't really matter because she doesn't explain it. Perhaps it was hard to explain, this is why she can't explain it. All right? Navigation system is not difficult there, especially in rewritten version. So if you want to go there, go for it. So this to-do list is for version 1, but rewritten with material design 3, and things, in my opinion, became simpler to explain in class. So in using Firebase here, there are video explanation. There are 2 lessons that I spent explaining to-do list code. So lesson 1 and lesson 2. And we're also creating project on Firebase. So it starts with creating project on Firebase, an example. So when you go through that, it's two lessons essentially, 6 hours. I want to keep it on YouTube. There are videos on YouTube, so they will not disappear on YouTube, but access to your course will disappear when you finish the course. So keep links somewhere, like bookmark it in browser. Okay. As these pieces and bookmark this. Bookmark this as well. What is this one? This is for new code version 2. I didn't change anything. I just cloned it for piece that contained 2 pieces, V1 and V2, and I created separate project because I don't want 2 V1 and V2 within the same repository. So cloning, it will be easier. I did for code in 2 days ago because I downloaded, committed, and uploaded. I didn't change anything except version number of libraries. So probably newer libraries. So this is for version 2 code. Your explanation that she has here applies to version 1 and version 2 nearly the same, except task is renamed to do item, okay? Because word task was creating confusion with API keyword of Firebase task. So in your new code, it is to do item. She dropped some things from previous code that was causing issues. Previously, to do item had time stamp and day stamp. So when it is due date and due time. It had some bugs and hard to manage things, so she removed it. I tried to fix it, so my code has this issue fixed it, but I didn't fix all issues. So just, okay, look it up, but not really that. One issue that I didn't fix that when task is stored on cloud, it was still storing date and time as plain string. And if you, this is how she did it, and I decided it's too much to change. So it's too much time investment, so I left it. If you store due date and time on cloud as a string, you cannot do easy searches like display me what is due next week, display me what is due next month, or display me what is due today. Because it is stored as a string, you cannot easily sort it out by queries on Firebase. It needs to be stored smarter, in smarter format in order to do this. Perhaps you realize that, okay, this is too much to do, so if you just remove it. So now to do items do not have due date and due time, and it doesn't have also dialogue to have due date and time. Also, dialogues had issue because she uses dialogues from view system, not from compose. I rewrote it with compose, but I still had issue with storing data on cloud because it was still strings. So my code in that sense is different, but it's not, it is still, her explanation still applies because she doesn't spend time explaining details. Her explanation is about general picture mostly and general ideas. So this is why it applies to my code, it applies to her code, version 1, version 2, just fine. So reading her blog is super useful, don't ignore it. When you see the code in her blog, it's different code now. In version 2, it's different. Ideas are similar, but code is different. So reading helps to understand any version, except it's called some things like just code doesn't look like it. So in order to make code work with Firebase, obviously you need to compile it, right? First you need to clone it. You need to get it work. After this, you need to compile it, but you will realize that after cloning, it's not compilable. So don't be alarmed. It's not compilable after you clone. Because you need, in order to make Android project compilable, you have to create project on Firebase, download specific file from Firebase into your project folder, and after this, it becomes compilable. Okay? So, and now let's talk about it. This folder, I set it explicitly an optional part of the code, so you can watch these videos. You can watch the video which is being recorded right now at any point. I will try to stay at the level, I will stay at the level that you have right now. But explanation of this code, detailed explanation of this code will probably take longer, so I'm explaining general features, so it will help to understand details when you need them. So this is a copy of her folder v2, although it is in my folder. So it is essentially her code, but placed in different place on web. So if you scroll it down, it is displaying a file called readme.md. It is also her file because I copied this and the same. So readme.md, it is exactly what you see right here. So it is a format for essentially help. And it explains what you need to do in order to make it work. Explanation is kind of really sketchy. So this is why we're doing this together. Right? So first, you need to create Firebase project. So click on this. It takes you to Firebase. What is Firebase? Google.com. It's part of Google Cloud. There are two ways to create Firebase project. This one, get started in console. And there is also start with something like Wizard or whatever. Oh, here, Firebase Studio. This is really new. Last time when I taught this course and when I revisited this code in Spring, this did not exist. So I honestly have no idea. Look up and learn it. Okay. This one, introducing Firebase Studio. It is some kind of wizard that should take you step by step. You have to learn it yourself because it's really new. It's like 3 months old. I'm going with the things that I already know, and this is what it's done. With this one, get started in console. Console, it does not mean that you have to type things. It is console, means website. So click here. It will, most likely it will ask you to log in. Because I already logged in, this is why it takes me to the page with my previously created project. In your case, when you click get started, most likely it will ask you to log in. You either have to create an account or you use your Google account, like Gmail account to log in. Or when you click get started. Please go through that with creating an account. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. With Gmail or whatever it asks you to do. And when you go through that creating account, please let me know. So where did I get it? You go to firebasegoogle.com, you find get started in console. When you click it or get started, it will ask you to create account or log in. If you log in with Gmail account, it will work. This is what I do. I log in with my Gmail account. Firebase is not 100% free. But the way how we use it in this course, it is 100% free. Don't worry about it. It will start charging if you release application and application is used by other people. So it creates traffic. So it starts ticking traffic meter. You will have to pay for it. But if you release application, you probably will make money. So hopefully. So it won't be sure. While you are learning, some things are still not free, but it will warn you if it's not free. What we use in this course is free. It's closer to end of the tutorial because later, because it is multi-step, like 10 pages. She is using things that are not free, but she will tell you about. Okay. Did you create account and log in? All right. So you're somewhere here, and it should be button create Firebase project. So click create Firebase project, and you need to give it a name. A name does not matter. It doesn't have to be a name of application. But okay, it helps if it is similar. Okay. When you type your name, the project name, type it, it will generate ID of the project. This ID, which is generated, is unique across cloud. There is a trick about doing this in cross, because if two people type this thing and got generated, most likely it will be kind of similar or the same. So when we click continue, it will say, oh, this is already used, because somebody typed the same class right here and it generated the same thing. So you have to go back and it will generate another one, not big deal. All right. So how you call it doesn't matter. I'll say, since it's done by Marina, I'll say to-do list Marina, or make it so Marina, okay? It is her code, make it so, and you see it is generating, and this makes it unique. Okay. See, make it so, it is her version, so I say, version 2, Marina, okay? And it says, make it so, version 2 Marina, don't do that one, because if it generates the same, one of us will be out of luck, because when I click continue, it will say this is already this. This is unique across the cloud. So if this generates exactly the same, it will say, oops, okay. I will just type your name over there. So let's continue. I keep default. Let's see them. Click continue. Enable Google Analytics with this project. It does not come by default, so you will have to add code for analytics, but it will work as you keep it on. It will not do much of analytics by default. It also collects crashes, and you need to add extra code to do crashes. Your code has such thing. So click continue. Configure Google Analytics. Select default account. Default account, whatever, Google, Gmail. All right. Next, create project. Project is not per application. Project, it is per area. So if you create iOS application, Android application, web application that you want to share data, it is the same project on Firebase. Because if you want to share data, it has to be the same project. And it says ready, click continue. Now it takes you to the project. Are you with me? Okay. Now, it gives you some artificial intelligence that's supposed to help you. I didn't use it yet. So explore it when you have time. So I'm doing this without artificial intelligence, the way how I did it before when it didn't exist. This engine is about 1 year old. They released this in spring of previous year. So learn how, it's also exists in Android Studio. It helps you to create code, but be careful about it and not how it works. Okay? I didn't apply it a lot. It's about 1 year old. Next, in order to make it work, this is what your instruction says, we need to do two things. One is to enable login system, and second, to enable database system. And after this works. So, a login system. I click here. Let's do overview. App check. I'm not sure what it is. Didn't exist before. Look it up. App hosting. App hosting, it is to host application that JavaScript application or Angular application that has access to the same data on Firebase. It is for the case that you have application with web interface through website and application on Android, for example, that share the same data. So it is for that purpose. Authentication. Authentication is login. It can be used through web interface, the same. It's the same system. Through Android, through iOS, through other things that are supported. So this is where we want to go right now. Authentication. And next, data connect. It's a connection from Firebase to other databases on the Google Cloud that are not in Firebase. It is new, it's about 1 year old. I didn't use it. Well, now Firebase does not have SQL database. But SQL, you can host the SQL and use SQL databases from Google Cloud, and this will help you to connect them. So this is what it is. Extensions. some functionality that comes in with Firebase and helps you organize the data on your cloud. For example, user deletes account and it will delete some stuff associated with the account when user deletes account. Or, something expires, it does some stuff. So this is extensions, some pre-built functionality that you can use. She has an introduction into extension in her tutorials, Marina tutorial in her blog, close to end. It is not in my code and it is not in initial code. So she says that add this piece and this piece. It is called at the end. So this is about extension. Some pre-built functionalities to do things automatically when like user deletes account or something expires. Okay. File store database. About half year ago, it was two databases on Firebase. Real-time database and Firebase file store database. And now it's only one. File store, this is one we use. You may find some tutorials with previous one, but when you create a new project, it's not available. So make sure that you don't rely on things that are not available anymore. Most likely it is available for projects created before for continuity, but when you create now project, it's not here, this is here. So this was what we will use in this project. Functions. It is to add code to be executed when something happens. So it is essentially event-driven code. You upload image, for example, and something added to the database when image is uploaded. User upload image avatar. And you add code to link this image to something in database, so it is part of the system. Also, part of extensions here, it's like recording image to resize it. It's an extension, but this is more generic. When something happens, it executes code. So this is how to create code that is customized without writing server code. So it is this part, functions. This part is not free. Let's make it clear. Okay? There are tutorials on it, and when you use tutorials, you have to pay for it. But money that you pay for using tutorials is symbolic, like $2. But it will charge you, I think it is charging you per month, so be careful, you turn it off this feature afterwards. Okay? Functions are not free. Hosting, it is for web hosting. This is similar, but for HTML project. Oh, 1 second. I think I made mistake. Yeah, this is web app. Yeah, the same. HTTP hosting, this is, no, not mistake. HTTP web hosting, it is app hosting, but simpler version. It is for like Angular piece or some JavaScript and HTML, but it is simpler version than app hosting. This way you can write JavaScript or code that can access databases. Machine learning, obviously, it's for machine learning part on the cloud. Oh no, real-time database is here. They just moved it. Sorry, it's here. It is still here. They told before, so I said file store, they just moved it down so people don't select it anymore by first option. So real-time is still here. But do not rely on it because it's phasing out technology. With technology that is on the way out. So don't use it in your new projects. So yeah, it's mistake. My mistake, I didn't realize it. Previously it was file store, then real time. And now they just move it down so people don't use it. But it's still here, yes. Storage. Storage, it is for upload stuff. When your application is downloading stuff, like files or whatever, you put it there. Or user uploads images, it also goes there. It is not like a database, essentially it's a folders associated with the app, or this for buckets associated with the app. And this is the storage. So this is overview what is there. So in order to make this app work, we need to do two things: authentication and file store. So let's go to authentication. As you see, your app can use various kinds of authentication. But of course, you need to add your code to your app in order to make it work. But cloud supports Google login, Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, just login and password, I believe it is this one, and logging in with phone number, something like that. So it also supports anonymous. And this is what we will play. What is anonymous? When user open your app, in order to simplify your logic, you may store data on the cloud right away. Because if you store it locally, you have to write extra code to store it locally because there's different database locally on Android. But user is not necessarily wants to create account in order to store the code, in order to store data. A user will need to create account in order to share data between different devices, definitely, no question about it. But if user wants to check what is going on, like make two shopping list without creating extra account, in order to avoid storing data locally on the device, because it is a lot of different code, writing a lot of different code, you can use anonymous login feature. So it will create anonymous account automatically when you use this feature. Again, when later user wants to share this data between different devices, user logs in and it will link new account with anonymous account. So data will be transferred from anonymous to non-anonymous. This is super useful because this way you will avoid writing extra code to store data locally before user creates account. So this is what we will do: anonymous and regular user account. So let's find it. How to do it? Get started. It's here. Click Get Started. By the way, you can watch video because there is video instructions on this here later. Okay. So you're here. First, let's add anonymous. Clicking here. Enable. And okay. Save. Next. Go back to sign in method. No. Where is add more? Okay, I probably need to close this thing. Add new provider. Add new provider, and also it depends. This does not come automatically. You have to have code in your app. So I'm using only thing that is already in your app. Anonymous and this email password. And this is enable passwordless use data. And this is how she code it. And save. So now we have two. If you click on it, it will not show anyone because we didn't log in yet. The same as this. And when you run your app without logging in, it will show stuff here. When you log in, it will show stuff here. But now it's not. So next, we need to go back to, this is authentication. We also need to go back to build and click file store database because this is what this app wants. File store database is a file store database. It is database which is not a store database. It is store data as it is. And this is what is programmed. These three is searchable, so you can just do it. And it the interaction performance. But it is storing data as a tree of native documents. So it is documents referring to collection of other documents, and that document can also refer to collection of other documents. So it is end-to-end. So every branch can have any number. So this is the logic in another way, this Firebase. It is end, but it is capable of work. So three details. And then you just keep default. And next. This file store comes with security feature. What is security feature? Definitely your application provides security in the terms of logging in, right? But what if it is hacked? If it is hacked with login of some other user, you cannot do much. But this security is different. This security is to associate data with IDs of users. So, and you say allow read write if and condition. Condition not necessarily ID is equal to some other IDs, or it can be any condition. So it's if and condition according to rule. And one of the conditions you can say that user ID stored in the item must match ID of the current user in order to write. So it is essentially pure item security, pure document security, where you can associate rules with time, and you can associate rules with IDs of users, who is allowed to read and write. This way, you can share data between different users as well, and provide security in sharing data. Definitely, it adds extra complexity to your app, and it definitely needs to be enabled in final release. But when you develop, and you need to make it work without worrying about the stuff, because if it doesn't work, it can be two things. One thing, broken logic on the app. Another thing, broken logic on the server. It's just mismatch of the tree and just assume it's the wrong thing. One more, broken logic and security. So definitely you need to edit the security in order to make these speech restrictions, but first you need to make it work. So for this reason, there is a test mode without enforced security. When you select test mode, it will allow a read-write to anything, anywhere up to a certain date, and you can edit this date later. So if you didn't finish it, you can put it for later and say save, and it's yeah. Okay. So this is how we started, and she didn't edit for code, but definitely it should be. So it is missing feature. So we need to add a restriction. So ID of a user item should not be readable, writable by reader if it doesn't go to the user. Currently, how it is enforced, it is enforced by the app itself. So when app is retrieving data, it is retrieving data by ID of the user, which is current user. So there is a security in current app in terms of one user does not see data of another user. So you cannot edit it and delete it because you just don't see it. But it is still hackable in the sense user may change some advanced user hack into app and change ID stored in layer somehow, and now the user has access to another list of another something like that. So in this case, it's not implemented. So in order to make it better, we need to add rules restricting access based on ID. So this is not part of operating system. So when you do it, look up, paste it here. But now it is just test. So as you see now, request time less than time this. So it will work till July 12th, right? No, what it says? July 12th. Request time is July 12th to 25. Today we can change it. Okay. Looks strange. Okay. Great. It is editable. Or maybe it will, when it is generated, it will be different. We don't really know. So let's see. Rules, open rules. And we need to say publish. Just so it works longer. Okay? And click publish. Now it's published. So it works at 26. You can change it later. But better way is definitely to add rules right away. So you have user ID matching or IDs of the stored data. So you can add, the way you add store ID, it is your choice. Because you store documents, documents can contain anything, including user ID, and documents are linked as N3 and branches. So how you store user ID, it's your choice. And how you enforce rules, it's also your choice. It's flexible. So you need to learn things and do some planning. Next, you need to go project overview, I believe. Yeah, project overview. And this is how you link your project to your app. iOS, Android, JavaScript, Unity, and Flutter. So you click on the link that you want to go through. It is a wizard. There are multiple step process, and it will generate instructions. For Android instruction, it will create a file that we need to download. Next step, keep this open because we need to have code now. Go here and go Firebase. I'm going with latest code from home, this one. And it is make it so Android 2, this one. And I go clone. Okay. Clicking Android. I already have one, but I will create another one. A new clone repository. And this is folder where I wanted to go. Command V. Here it is. Make it so Android version 2. Okay. So now a Trust project. It is not compilable. Don't try to compile. Because it's missing file from Firebase that we need to download. This will not work. Don't try. Just wait. I think it's ready. And next, Open this build Gradle KTS app, this one. Here it is. So you see this thing. And next, where we are here, right? Click here to Android, because we're connecting Android project to Android. And now it says Android package name. And it is this one, namespace, this one. So you copy this piece, copy, and paste it here. Nickname doesn't matter, it is optional, and this is if you have a security key, you need to generate it. So it's optional. For this moment, when you need to use it, learn how to do it, use it later. So I'm just going with simple stuff. Okay, are you with me at this one? So next, register app. And now download Google Services JSON. This is a file that you need to put in your Android project. So download. It goes to downloads folder. And where to put it? It has to be in app folder, but it has to be folder. So I will go here and say project files to see the folder as a folder. So it has to be here. And next, you go to your downloads and find that JSON file, which is that piece, downloads, Google Services, just drag it and put it into app folder like that. And it says move, yes. It says move, yeah. Okay. So it ended up here in source. I believe it's fine this way. Google Services in source. App is just, okay. It is in git ignore. If it's not in git ignore, you should put it. It is in git ignore, right? This is what I added before I push it to GitHub. She didn't have this piece. I added this git ignore file. Why it is in git ignore? Because it has to be your project, not my project. If I put it my project, you cannot see database because you see database when you log in, right? So it has to be your project only to see what it is saying. All right. Now, app now it has Google Services, and this is in brown. It means it is ignored. Okay. Now you can compile it. So click on compile, and it should run it, and in medium project. When you start it, it tries to log in right away. And it will try to log in as anonymous. So when you create a list, it will create a list as anonymous user on a cloud. So this way she is avoiding creating stuff, storing stuff locally, because it's different API, it's hard to write extra code. Not hard, but it's extra code. This says add Firebase SDK. It is how to add libraries to the project. They already have it. So look it up, what to add, and this is instructions for previous Android Studio version, not for current, because you know difference, right? It has different structure. But if you copy paste it and right click on it, it will tell you, do you want to convert it to new? You say yeah, and it's fine. So you can still copy paste all the instructions, but you have to right click and say convert, or just copy paste it from prompt. Okay. What you include really depends on what you use, because you need to look up what this particular project is doing. So what did she do for it? So let's look at her libraries. In lib, in versions, now let's switch to Android. So Android. In Android, there is a lib version storm.ml. At the bottom, she included healed. This for dependency injection system, the same as before. She included KSP, so apparently she is using healed with KSP now. Healed can be used with KSP and other one I forgot. ASP review. So something like that. In two systems, one is newer, one is older, and she was kind of in between, but now she's switching to KSP. I forgot what is next. If you look up in my code, it is different plugin. I forgot what it's called. Android something. Kotlin annotation processing or something like that. Also, 3 letters, I forgot. So she is using Google services. This is for cloud. And she added library Crashlytics. Other things are generic. Serialization. She is using serialization in navigation system, which is strange, but this is quite weird. Okay. So she added these pieces, and she is referring to them in here, KSP, and Crashlytics. In my code, in your assignment code, this is different things. I forgot what it is. Look it up. So she added this. It is for Google Cloud. This is for dependency injection, this too. And this is also Google Cloud to record crashes on Google Cloud. So she's going here, added the same thing here, and referring to this stuff here. Firebase Bomb. Firebase Bomb, it is wrapper for the libraries. It provides version numbers for compatible libraries. So it is a way to refer to version number in one place. And this stuff here. Healed, added for dependency injection system here. And this is bomb. But this is bomb for compose. This is bomb for Firebase. Healed also is here. And here. KSP. I forgot what is in my code. A previous plugin, they are designed to be compatible, and current trend it is to replace everything with KSP. Previously, it was compilation issue. This is why I downgraded that. Okay, so let's look it up. I will just quickly look it up, what I use it. So, pet data Android. New window. I forgot, sorry about it. I will just look it up. Gradle scripts. Capped. It's called capped. Kotlin annotation processing something. So KSP, it is newer one. It's designed to replace capped. Capped is slower to compile project, but when you run it, it doesn't matter. Under the hood, it is different, but in your code, it is exactly the same, except in the libraries when you refer to it. So this is why it is easy to convert. You replace only things that refer to this thing. You don't touch code. Code is exactly the same, which is good news. Code is exactly the same. It's only libraries part is different. Right? So you can try to replace it in the assignment with PSP or just with code. Code is the same, it's only libraries. Next, it is running. So let's see what happens on the server side. So we don't need to edit it, so just close it. Let's see if it created account. So going to authentication, you see anonymous account created, and this is user ID for that anonymous account. So when you open up, it's creating account. For file store database, collection is empty. So we didn't add anything, so it didn't add stuff to it. So let's try to add things and see what happens. This is to create account. You go here, it's sign in, or create account. So how to go back? She doesn't have a back button, so it is navigational kind of sucks. You can use back button here. So how to add new create to do item, it's bottom thing. And title for the item, grade assignment 1. Flag, I'm not sure what is flag, just to flag it. Okay. She has a flag and check mark means done. Flag is not done, flag it means flag it. So let's flag it. And let's say priority medium. Okay, because I have to do other things. Like making exam for Monday. Okay, so, all right. There is a way to delete. And there is a button to save. Save is here. Again, UI is kind of, okay. I would create save here. Okay, so here it is. Save. And this means done, finished. So let's go to cloud and see what this accomplished. This is real-time update. So when you click here, let's try to reload it. First time you really need to reload it. After this, it will start updating. So you see it's created priority 2, flagged true, completed false. And this stuff is synchronized, and actually in both directions. So when you click this part, you will see it is completed true. Okay, you can even say Boolean false, update, and you will see this check switch. Let's try. You see it's gone. So it is synchronized in both directions, which is good. So what do we learn? This feature is absolutely best if you need to maintain interaction between you. And this can be used in agreement in kind of data exchange because it is synchronized. And it's functional application to that. If we do just for data exchange, we do data. You ask for data, we receive it. But you will never know when data on server change unless you do some kind of notification. So this is where many students make this mistake. We try to implement data exchange to the user. So we replace database on server that provides data information. And one user sends data to the server, and what we want to do. So if you do this for the connection, like send data to the server, for example, you need to set up, if you use this database, applicable will not be here. Once you update it here, it goes back. So if you share data in one user, data has to be shared. So you have to do this when you compare. If there is some kind of chat or some kind of data, if one user sends data to and the other people will know because it was. This is where you find. This is where you have conflict because you use database that is synchronized with your application. So this way you can have information between users. You don't need to write any kind of notification framework or this kind of notification framework. Brute force is you create some SQL server, use some SQL server, use some service side object, changing the server, then data to the server, your they take data to your absent users out. But you still need to have some server that is sending the changing notification. That server is you need to learn how to do them, you need to learn how to post them, you need to learn how to interact with them with your app. So brute force approach is that ambitious. And the way to do that is called extensible messaging and presence protocol, XMPP. And this is brute force approach of dealing with notification. XMPP. Extensible messaging and presence protocol. There are several implementations for this server, and it is used. It is not that absolutely. It is used in Google Messaging, and it is used in Facebook Messaging. So they use this protocol as its extra things, and if you want to write something huge, Google Messenger, whatever this case, this way you probably need to optimize it such way so you post it in optimal way, you spend line optimal way. But in order to make your project like App Store exchange data dynamically between users, is to use databases that notify apps. And it's not unique to Firebase. Amazon has it. Microsoft has it. You just need to make sure that that particular option is synchronizing database, sending notification to your app, and so you have current data. Otherwise, you will have to deal with separate server that is sending notification, which is more complicated. Or cloud server, which is already on cloud, but sending notification, but not synchronized to you. So be aware when you write app, be aware of this synchronization thing. Because for many students, it comes as a surprise what's going on. Because we put data and how, data is there, but other users don't know it. It's just like that. Yeah. So let's continue. By the way, we have 10 minutes left. Ouch. So let's look through what we have here. And make it so. This is up, right? So I explained it a lot less than I planned actually. Sorry. So what does she have? And she has main activity, and she implemented navigation system, but navigation system is not using strings. She is using serializable objects. So approach is somewhat different. Idea is similar. It is, we have nav host, which is window where items is included. We have composable pieces. It is destinations, but destinations are not strings. Destinations are serializable objects. I look it through the code, it becomes simple this way, so it is rational probably to make it simple this way. So destinations are no longer strings. There is a global view model here, and that is dealing with sending errors. Here, send error to cloud and display error. So view model scope, launch, coroutine, exception handler. So exceptions, crash lytics to Firebase. So when it is crashing, it sends message to Firebase. This is global because it's kind of global feature, right? She also has view models per screen. There is, for example, to-do list. It is for entire list that has view model per screen. It has to-do item. This is what you saw per item that is used to display and edit it. There is also sign up screen, sign in screen. It's going through login process. Her data is here, and this is modules. She is using modules similar how we did it in assignment in my application, but since she has a Firebase, also she is injecting Firebase pieces using module. And she has data source, and data source, it is one level below repository because API of Firebase does not use repository right away. So she is creating classes that to link to API of Firebase. For example, authentication. So she created injectable class. That is creating, that is authentication remote data source. This part is injectable from the module, so she defined this new module to make it injectable. It's just a couple of lines for that. And this piece, as you see where it goes, this is where it's coming from. It is just assignment. Okay. Where it goes, it's here. Where it is injected into authentication repository. Authentication repository, it's a wrapper before view model. So repositories are injected into view model. So here it is, and you see it is injected to different view models. This one, like say into settings, because settings it's about login settings. Then sign in, sign up, to do item, to do list, because in order to retrieve this, you need to know user ID, because it is linked to user ID. And as you see, authentication is injected, and there is also repository for to-do list. So where it's coming from? It's coming from another object that she created. It's coming from this repository. Repository object is injected, but this has one parameter, which is data source. It is one layer below repository. And data source is coming from here, the injectable object, which is using file store as a parameter. And this is the selection criteria. So she is running query to select items for specific user, because those items has user ID. So I explained less than I planned, but I think it's kind of a reasonable overview. It's better than nothing, definitely. Okay, so it is video recorded. I will post video recording. Browse through the code. It definitely takes time to understand. Don't get scared if something is not immediately clear. I read through explanations. It becomes more clear after you read it. And looking up documentation also helps. Like you look up some specific function, you look up on Firebase what is doing, so it will be more clear. It definitely would require weeks to explain, not just one lesson. It's weeks, maybe 1 week to explain in details. When I explained this topic in fall, I took 1 week, but it was still overview. I didn't explain every line, but still students had similar assignment. It was about to-do list. I asked them just make it short and similar but not the same. So they had assignment 4. Wait, and it was based on version 1. Version 2, it is she finished with a couple of articles. Version 1, you can look up my code. Her code is not copy pastable because it's using different libraries. That libraries are from Material Design 2, and Material Design 2 is not copy pastable to Material Design 3. And she is also using combination of use and composables. And that makes styles different. So there is some code related to styles that is not copy pastable now because it requires different settings. And so version 1 code is not that easy to use. I created somewhat similar using new libraries. So if you want to go through version 1, it's probably easier to go through to-do list, the code I posted. Or just go with version 2, which is probably better. Okay. Her explanation are in general words, so it applies to any versions, including my version for to-do list. So they're not code specific. Well, I include specific parts that she includes, they just for illustration. It's not for code, just general idea. Okay, so done. So we will have exam next lesson as planned. Sorry, I talked to somebody and somebody asked me. You probably right. So move, sorry.